Hi guys, I'm Danielle and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about all of the new November releases that I am super excited for. I do have quite a bit of them on my list. I really don't know too much because some of them are continuations of series and some of them are just ones that I've read from the authors before. So I'm just really excited for them. So I am just going to get right on into it. And first up on November 5th, I have Hexed by Emily McIntire. And this is her 6th book in her Never After series, which are kind of like fractured fairy tales. They follow somewhat of the same storyline as the original fairy tales, but people's names have changed. Sometimes they go for the villain instead of the hero and things like that. So for Hexed, I do believe it's kind of like a mafia one. So I am just going to quick look that up and see what it says. So from what I can tell, he is the prince of La Cosa Nostra, and she is the witch who steals his heart. This one follows Vanessa Anderson. She was never good enough for her parents, and she isn't good enough for her gangster uncle who took her in after they died, but she's cunning, beautiful, and dutiful to her uncle's commands. And she also doesn't have a moral compass. So it also sounds like her cousin is supposed to be engaged to this guy, but when he sees her, he is all about her. And Enzo Loverboy Marino is a wealthy businessman by day and prince of the underworld by night. He's underboss to a notorious mafia syndicate, and he answers to no one except his father until he meets his fiance's cousin, and then things go from there. They are going to have to figure out which is more important to them, following their family's rules or each other. It sounds like it is a Little Mermaid retelling, and I cannot wait for this one. Then on November 11th, I have Fired by My Grumpy Dragon Boss by Amy Wright, and this is another in her series of grumpy bosses. The first one was a minotaur and the second one was a demon, so I'm very excited for a dragon next. So in this, we follow our female main character. She's working for this dragon boss, and he ends up firing her for pretty much no reason. So she decides that she's going to go to a competing company and start working for them. This way she can get her revenge. They still have to see each other though, because the companies are working together, and he pretty much goes out of his way to make it very hard for a female main character. But one night they end up having a little bit of hate sex, and it is like the best that they have ever had. Now they need to decide if they end up wanting to be together because dragons mate for life, or if this is going to be like a quick fling. I'm excited to see what happens in this one. I love monster romances, so I can't wait for this one. Then on November 12th, A Soul to Embrace comes out by Opal Reyne, and this is book 8 in her Duskwalker Brides series. I have read all of the other ones, and I'm super excited for this one. I don't really want to tell you much about it because you do kind of have to read them in order. After a certain point, I think it's like book 4 or 5, the backstory of the books really depends on you reading them in order. And this book is actually about the main villain in the whole series. So I'm actually kind of excited to see what Opal can do with that. If you don't know what the Duskwalker Bride series is about, it is about these Duskwalkers that are pretty much the big bad monster in this world, but they are severely misunderstood. They actually start out as these little black blobs, and then when they eat their first animal, that is the skull that they take on, and then they continue eating more, and if they eat people, they gain a little bit more sentience, and it kind of goes from there. So they have their own thoughts, they talk, and everything like that. This story is about them finding love with the right person, and it is such a good story. You wouldn't think that you would fall in love with these Duskwalkers, but oh my gosh, if you have not read this series, you really should pick it up, especially if you like monster romances, because they are amazing. I have given a couple of these 5 stars, and it's just such a fun series, and I highly suggest it. Also on the 12th comes Cruel Winter with You by Ali Hazelwood, Merry Ever After by Tessa Bailey, All by My Elf by Olivia Dade, Merriment and Mayhem by Alexandria Bellefleur, and Only Saints in the Building by Alexis Daria. These are 5 short stories, kind of like novella length, that they are putting out as Amazon originals. So it's going to come out in audiobook form as well, but I do want to pick these up. I've read from 4 of the 5 authors already, and I've loved their stuff, so I can't wait to pick up more. It sounds like these are going to be just some fun, cozy holiday stories that I'm very excited to pick up, and I hope you pick them up too. Then on November 13th, A Pack for Autumn comes out by Emilia Emerson. This is an Omegaverse, and I'm very excited for this one. This one, we follow our main character, Autumn, and she needs a new start. She moves into this lighthouse to be the caretaker, but the town, I guess, gets a grant that approves fixing up the lighthouse, but because she's living there, she ends up having to let a bunch of these alphas in to fix up her space. So suddenly these alphas are everywhere up in her space because of this restoration, and she does have a little bit of a prickly personality, but that does not seem to be deterring them at all. But they do have some secrets of their own, each one of them, so they're gonna need to fix their own problems before they can all come together. I'm super excited for this one. It is a standalone, but I do believe there's another book coming out in December, kind of in the same world. So I am excited about that. It is by a different author, so I'll talk about that one in my December new releases. But this is a standalone, and it is MFMM, so there will be no swords crossing in this. Then on the 14th, Fake Game by Madison Fox comes out. This is book 3 in her gamer series that she was doing. Definitely read book 1 and 2. They are so fun, and you see all of the characters progress in their relationships as you go on. But this is a Grumpy Sunshine romance, and it follows a gamer girl who's trying to get away from her stalkers, as well as a gamer guy who is in need of a fake girlfriend. They do happen to be in the same friend group, so when the main character needs a place to go because of this stalker, she actually ends up moving into the same place as our male main character. She offers to play his fake girlfriend, but as the threats that are surrounding her become a little bit more dangerous, they have to decide how they are going to win this fake game. I'm excited for it. I love gaming things and stuff like that, so I can't wait to pick this one up. Then on November 15th, Elfemies to Lovers comes out by Jennifer Chipman. I read 2 of her Halloween books last month, and I had a really good time with them. So I'm excited to pick this one up. And this one follows the daughter of a runaway Christmas elf and the son of Santa Claus. And it sounds like she doesn't know she's an elf, and the son of Santa Claus asks her to go back with him to the North Pole for the holidays. He's supposed to be taking over the family business, but everything was different when he arrived back at their Christmas-themed amusement park and met her. I can't wait to see what they get up to, and I will definitely be picking this one up soon. Then on November 19th, Afterglow by Emily Antoinette comes out, and this is book 2 in her Monsters of Moonvale series, but it can be read as a standalone. You do not have to read the first book first, but I highly suggest doing it because it was a good book. That's why I'm continuing on. If you don't know, though, this one is a female-female monster romance following, I believe, a human and a vampire. So in this, we follow one of our main characters who's human. Her husband just left, and she's kind of trying to rediscover herself again. She does have chronic pain, though, which causes her to cancel a lot of plans, and things come up because of it. I really do hope that Emily does a good representation of chronic pain in this. I have family members that have it, so I do see what it is in real life, and I'm hoping that she can portray that in this as well. But it sounds like our main character is trying to explore her more submissive side and runs into some complications when her friend Blair, who is a vampire, actually comes in and tries to help her. They do start off as friends, though, and our vampire is kind of hesitant to take it any further because she's afraid she's going to fall back into the way she was when she just became a vampire. So she's a little bit wary of moving things to the next step with Grace. They have to figure out how to work through this before both of them end up even more broken and alone. Excited about this one. It's still kind of the spooky season, so I'm excited for vampires and everything that goes along with it. Also on the 19th, Monster Pucked by Clio Evans and Ashley Bennett comes out. This is a novella. It's an monster romance. It sounds like there's a silver fox vampire chef, a sweet orc hockey player, and dumb sub dynamics. And this just sounds right up my alley. Again, we're getting another vampire, and it's a hockey romance. And I've been loving hockey romances recently. Now that the season is coming back, I'm hoping to go to more hockey games, and I'm just very excited. So this will kind of get me back in my hockey mood. So it sounds like there's a hot chocolate crisis at a holiday dinner party and an unforgettable mistletoe kiss. I don't really want to spoil anything more, but I'm very excited for this one. And then last, but certainly not least, on the 25th comes out Litha by C.M. Nascosta, and this is book 3 in her Cambric Creek Coven series. Try saying that 5 times fast. Cambric Creek Coven is definitely a tongue twister. I don't want to really say much about this synopsis just because this is book 3 and you do kind of have to read the other books before it to continue on with it. It is not a standalone. I will say though that it is a cozy monster romance and features a neurodivergent witch female main character and a non-human spider-like male main character. I thought I would find this series a little bit more creepy crawly than I did because I do not like spiders, but this one I've actually had good luck with, so I am excited to continue on with this. But those were all of the new releases that I'm super excited for in November. I feel like I just keep adding them on because more authors are coming out and saying that they're releasing something new this month, which I'm not opposed to. I'm very excited to get all of these new books. But that is it for today. If you have any new releases that you're really excited for that I didn't mention here, definitely let me know down in the comments. I would love to put some more books on my radar. But if you want to leave a comment but don't really have anything to say, why don't you leave me a book stack emoji for all of the new releases that are coming out? And I will see you next time. Bye!